What up, everyone? It feels good to be alive one more day, And today I'm super excited to talk about something that I've been reading about. And you know that I share so many different and various topics, whether that may be about health and fitness, about, motivational quotes, books, things like that, right? And today, I'm really excited because I get to share with you one more topic. And if you have me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever the case may be, you know with anticipation, I posted about this topic earlier today. And I want to share with you this powerful word that stood out to me at one of my seminars. And not only did it stood out like in big bold letters, but it stood out in my mind. And one of the great things about me, if you don't know already, I like to observe a lot of things. Now, it's not to say that sometimes I don't catch everything of a human being. I'm not justifying anything, but I like to observe everything, especially when I'm learning about a different topic, something new, things like that, right? So the topic today is called innovation. Now, you might want to get your pen and paper, your tablet, your laptop, your computer, or even your phone, if you have an extra one, to write some notes. And today I want to talk to you about innovation. And while you think about that word, I don't know about you, but I've heard so many people talk about innovation in the last couple of years. And I'm going to give you different examples so you can understand where I'm coming from, okay? So, number one, here's a very simple definition of the word innovation. One of the definitions is something that's constantly evolving. Another one is an object, a company, a thing that is revolutionized, and it's being revolutionized. Some of you guys heard of the Industrial Revolution? Well, I'm going to talk about all that stuff. So pay attention, and it's not something that I'm just gonna take it lightly. Like, I'm gonna go so deep in this topic that you have to be aware that innovation is all around you, okay? Things that you thought would never happen, they're happening right before our eyes, okay? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background, and yes, since I'm in health and fitness, I'm gonna talk about that as well, but more importantly, I'm going to give you different scenarios of why I'm choosing to talk about innovation. And it's something that should be scary in a sense, but also something that should wake you up and think like, oh shoot, I didn't think that was happening. So let me get a little bit of water. All right. So let's take it back to biblical times, okay? Let's take it back to a historic moment. Okay, so first of all, in the old days, in the historic days, where we didn't see too much technology, if you will, we used to have this thing where if we wanted, well, first off, there's three main things that, how can I say it so I can make it really clear? There's three things that have had innovation in the last thousands of years, okay? Check this out. Number one of the things that has had a big innovation impact is the way we communicate, okay? Now, I was talking about the historic times, right? So check this out. Back in the day, when you wanted to get a message across, this is how it would get across. You would do the beating of the drum, right? you would hear sounds of a message like, hey, we're here. Another one, you would give someone a flyer or whatever the case was, and they would have to walk and give the message to that one group of people or a person, kind of like the mailman. Or they used to do bonfires, and these big old fires with the smoke, and they would let you know that they were coming or they were right there for you to meet them. So the way message was innovated was through horses, vehicles, people, and electronic cars, through messaging, Instagram, text message, messenger, things like that, right? And it's crazy how message, or the word message in general, has truly have, and it will continuously have innovation. And innovation has had a tremendous impact on the way we communicate through messages, right? Now, let me give you a second thing that has had innovation. Transportation, right? Transportation back in the day, you had to get yourself up in the morning. You had to go to a location, a specific location. You had to walk there. Then the horse came. Then the chariots. Then now we have a vehicle. We had a car. We have motorcycles. We have all of that stuff, right? And transportation is continuously having innovation, which means something is evolving every single time. And I get so fired up because that can be good and that could be bad. Whatever that definition may be for you. I'm just speaking in my own terms. So we talked about message has had innovation. We also talked about transportation, right? Now, the way we communicate now, right? Yes, I mentioned social media. So transportation, communication, right? Now, the way we talk, the way we communicate, not only through a message, but technology has taken over in such a dramatic way that we don't even have a face-to-face contact. I mean, look at me right now. I'm trying to reach a message through the innovation of social media, right? Now, you're probably wondering and you're probably asking, well, Kevin, like, what does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with anything that's happening in my own personal life? Let me let you think for a little bit. Innovation, it's happening really drastic in our human society, okay? Medication is in constant innovation. The way we see things is having innovation. Now, even more deeper, our career, our jobs, our expertise, whether you had gone to school or not, has had innovation and it is having innovation. Check this out, guys. I'm gonna give you guys some stats for your records if you don't know already, right? Okay, we have a company in this country, right? I'm in the US. We have a company called Payless, okay? Now, I'm not promoting Payless, but I am promoting what's happening right now, okay? Payless, when I was a little kid, I don't know how old, I didn't really do my research on Payless, but Payless was around when I was a young kid. I remember my mother and my father taking me to Payless. Okay, no shame in my game, trust me. I'm sticking to my roots, I know where I come from. And now, this year, I hear the news about Payless is going bankrupt. And I'm like, wow, I never saw that coming. But let me tell you something. The innovation is happening right before our eyes in our industrial, in our merchandise, in our the way we distribute different products. Let me give you another stat on Apple, on Kodak, right? On Singular, Mervyns, Robinson's May. You guys are probably still wondering what the heck is that, If you're really young, you're like, I've never heard of those stores before. But check it out. I remember as a young kid, Mervyns was a store just like JCPenney. I remember Robinson's May was a store just like Macy's, right? And I remember that all these stores were so packed out, but innovation took place, right? Things began to change. Things began to transform, and people were not even aware, and it was like, wow, now it's shutting down. And those stores disappeared. Then you had the innovation of companies buying each other. I remember when AT&T bought Singular, or was Singular, something like that. I just remember not too long ago, Spectrum bought Time Warner, or it became Spectrum or something like that. But that's to let you know that innovation is happening constantly in businesses, okay? I haven't even got to the human aspect, right? So now innovation is taking over on the way we're shifting when it comes to purchasing different products. When it comes to even Uber, where now you don't even have to get up to go get your food. Now we're eliminating that barrier of having human contact, right? Now we can overpass where back then they would tell you, you gotta get up to go get your food. No one is gonna bring it to you. And I'm like, wow. I cannot believe that what my grandparents, what my parents used to tell me now is actually a living experience. Now someone can bring me my food at a cost of an exchange of currency, right? So it tripped me out how different things are being innovated right before our eyes, and even the way we have our careers. A lot of people, and you know what? I'm gonna get really touchy with you. It might hurt. It might hurt your feelings, and I'm not trying to do that, but I'm trying to observe the innovation. Some of you guys that have some dope careers, things like that, let me tell you something, are gonna get replaced. Yep. You're probably gonna get replaced by a machine or something, or a gadget. Because let me tell you right now, that whole 9-to-5 job out of security is not gonna work too very long. I'm telling you right now, you go to different stores, now they have self-checkout. They have an automatic teller machine where when you go to the bank, you don't have to talk to a physical teller no more. Can you believe that? And they encourage you, come on by. And what they don't realize is that, hey, we're gonna take over your career, man. You have no idea what's happening right before your eyes, but yet you're still buying into this thing because it's faster. It produces less stress on people, where people can hurry up and buy things and pay for things quick. But guess what? We're losing the human contact. Now let me tell you why innovation is awesome and why innovation can be a little bit challenging. One of the crazy things that I know from innovation, that when Apple wanted to buy Kodak, I remember Steve Jobs offering a big business deal to Kodak. Now, if you guys know about Kodak, Kodak was a company that was really huge in photos, different albums and things like that, right? You ask me, where is Kodak today? It's gone. Kodak does not exist anymore. And I remember reading about that when Steve Jobs was offering a business deal to the CEO of Kodak, and he said, nope, nope, nope. And guess what? Innovation took place. Now Apple is one of the largest companies when it comes to phones, to cameras, and stuff like that on a phone. And it's like, wow, like innovation took place in a time where he needed to step up. He needed to step up his game, talking about Kodak, and yet he's like, nope, nope, nope. So now, why am I saying that innovation is changing the way things are? Let me tell you one thing, because opportunities are all over the place when it comes to innovation. Innovation says that it requires transformation, growth, renovation, something new, something that is gonna blow people's minds, something that's gonna, let me give you a psychological word, stimulate the psyche, the mind, and it's gonna produce a different sensation of satisfaction. Now, when you don't realize that innovation, it could and it cannot help you at the same time, you're gonna start losing opportunities in so many different levels. So for example, a lot of people used to criticize me because they used to think like, how can a shake give me this, this, and that? Well, check it out. Let me give you some innovation. Our fruits and vegetables are not made the same compared to 70 or 80 years ago. Trust me. And not because I lived already 70 or 80 years ago, but because I've seen it. I've seen how people are getting sick. The innovation of our food is really having poor quality in a sense, because there is some food that's having good quality, but most of our junk food out there has really poor quality. So if you understand how innovation is taking place and it's for the better or for the worse, you're gonna start to recognize, well, hey, where am I gonna be at? Am I gonna be part of innovation for the better, or am I gonna be part of innovation for the worst? And let me tell you something, if you do not step your game up now with innovation, with producing something new in your own life, not just in the business world, but in your own personal life, let me tell you, life cannot deny someone who gives it their absolute all. And remember, you gotta give all of yourself. Why do you think fishes make it look so easy when they're swimming? Like they make swimming look so easy because they use all of themselves. Now, the same thing happens when people don't have innovation in their own personal life. How do I know? People that don't like to read, people that they don't like to get informed about new things that can help change their life, those are the people that put innovation to the side. So a lot of people say, well, I don't need this because this is all I know. And once you start to understand that innovation is gonna take you to a different level, like people can think like, man, you're crazy for talking about all this. Like, it's not gonna happen. Trust me, I used to hear about it when I was a really young kid about some of the things that were gonna happen, and I was like, there's no way that can happen. Like, how are we gonna get to that level? And then it's happening in my generation right now. A lot of things are changing. People are stepping away from reality and they want to live in this fantasy of where, well, I'm going to do it my own way. I'm going to do it the old school way. Let me tell you something. The old school way is not working as much as the new way because there's been innovation. Remember, I said earlier, transitional events are happening before our eyes, and if you don't get with the program, I don't know what to tell you. Innovation is going to continue to happen. And for me, it's a scary topic because innovation is going to continue to take place, and either you're going to go with it or you're going to go backwards. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and we had a family loss, and I was just thinking about how, and I'm referring to my grandpa, I was just thinking about how my grandpa would talk to me about different things that he was experiencing as a young kid at the age of 5. Just the fact of him working at a very young age, just all of that stuff, right? And I felt that my grandpa was like, he was giving me really forward, excuse the ambulance, he was giving me forward answers where how he lived his life when it came to back in the day. You know, like I can't say back in the day yet because I'm not that old yet. But back then, my grandpa would have to go physically to the cow, milk the cow. He had to give this, he had to feed this, and trip out on this. My grandpa was still doing that not too long ago. So the way he was talking to me about innovation a couple of years back just kind of made me think of how some of the things that he would say, like, well, you know what? In our time, we used to do this and that. Like, I don't know how you can do this. And I remember too, how he would cut the grass with an axe. I mean, what the heck are they gonna do? Right? But my main point is this, like, back then, my grandpa used to do things a certain way. Now, we have a total innovation on how we cut grass, on how we get our food, like I was sharing with you guys. And innovation is one of those things that is tripping me out, because the more I see it, the more people are going to get left behind. And, you know, you got to understand something. When you start to realize that if you don't get with the program, you're going to be left behind, there's going to be a lot of doubt in your mind, thinking like, man, why can I not get past through this? Like, why can I not grow through this? And let me tell you, even in your own personal life, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but get this. If you don't work harder on yourself than your job, you're never going to produce nothing different. You're never going to produce something that can have you, you know, to a different level in your own mindset. Because sometimes, like, we get so stuck in a certain thing and we go backwards. So, like, we can't even grow out of a situation. So for me, I'm not a perfect one, but I will tell you this, that when I recognize something that has to change, I know I have to change it, not because someone is helping me get aware of that circumstance or that situation, but just the fact that I get to experience it in my own being, that I feel like, man, like, you know what? I do have to change. And if I don't change, nothing will change. I can't expect for some things to change if I don't change first. So innovation, not only does it take place in the business world, but it's also, and it has to be taking place in your own personal life. How are you evolving every single day? Like, how is it that every day that you get up, you're not grateful for something that's being in front of you, which is the air you breathe, you know, and the innovation that's taking place? Like, you have to become aware of different things like that. So for me, it's just one of those things that I wanted to share with you, you know, innovation, and how that you can apply it in your job, in your career, in your life, in your marriage. I'm not married, so I'm not giving you marriage advice, or I'm not giving you any type of relationship advice for that matter. I'm not the person for that. But I will tell you this, that innovation has to take place in everything you do in your life. Not because I'm telling you, not because I read it on a book, but because I see it every single time. And when innovation takes place, you got to upgrade yourself. You got to step up your game. You got to become aware that anything you want in life is possible. Because innovation is telling you, let's grow, let's grow, let's grow. You know, and I don't know, this type of transmission that I'm giving people through this social network, it's just something that I want to be continuously doing, not to see how many people look at this. I hope a lot of people look at it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I am not going to be here forever. I don't know who has the heart or the willingness to actually share different things with you, especially topics like these. But I'm gonna tell you something, and I hope you guys pay attention to this. One day I'm not gonna be here, okay? Let's make that clear. I won't be here forever. But if there's anything that I want you to leave with today, I'm almost done already, is that innovation has to be taken in all forms, all shapes throughout your life. When you stop growing, because the essence of life is growth, when you stop growing, you start dying, right? So people think that the cemetery is where you see the most dead people, but actually is when you walk outside and you see a bunch of people walking like zombies with something that has died already inside of them. They have given up on their dreams. They have given up on their family. They have given up in everything that they did once. All because innovation was missed out. The opportunity for growth was there and they pushed it to the side. And I will tell you this too. When you go back to these videos that I make, share them with people. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Spread the word. I'm not making any type of financial income off of this. Believe me. It's something that I wanted to do since last year, but I didn't get to do it. And now I'm here today transmitting to whoever. Does not matter who listens to this. It's not to get popularity. It's not so you can say like, man, like, that's a good speaker, or he knows what he's talking about. No, you got to get something out of what I'm saying. And I hope you guys take it into consideration of sharing it with a bunch of people. Because it's not who you know at most times. It's actually what you know and what you can deliver to make an impact on other people. Now, if the impact is not hitting you, you're probably just being blocked. Like you're blocking your own self. Like, nah, I don't want to hear that. That's dumb. I don't want to hear that. Well, don't ever say no one told you so, especially about this topic. Because innovation is probably taking place at your own life and you don't even see it. But anyways, I want to leave you with something positive. So stay tuned for more videos to come. I'm going to talk about different topics, and I hope you too become part of my YouTube channel and subscribe and share with a bunch of people. There's going to be different topics. I'm getting ready to bring someone in with me so we can have a different scenario and we can have different questions and things like that. So I hope you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you're at. So have a good one. Peace.